always like to go over these things because they do have some sort of determining factor as to what might be hit or unleashed onto our ban list in the coming future. And we're getting this is quite the ban list, I must say. It actually is kind of a cool ban list that they've done, and it's kind of, some of them threw me for a loop. I am honestly quite surprised some of these cards are even on this list. So without any further ado, and the picture is pretty nice. If we're going to do a bit of foreshadowing here. So let's just jump right into it. So the ban cards, there's only 2 ban cards. They banned Gofu, which we banned Gofu, which I mean, I guess the OCG is trying to follow suit, but they also banned Infecting Cluster Avarice. I know there's some FTKs around this card, but I actually don't remember what this card does off the top of my head, actually. Let me just really quick look it up on my phone real quick, because I actually have no idea what this card does, or I don't remember what this card does. Phoenixine Cluster Amaryllis. This card cannot be special summoned except with its own effect or with Phoenixine Seed. Okay. Okay. If this card, this is just a weird card. It's just an overall weird card. I guess there's just like an FTK around this deck, and they didn't want this card to be a problem in the OCG, which it might as well have been. Destiny Hero Disc Commander. It got its errata, so this card could probably just go to 3 in the OCG. It wouldn't even matter. Double Iris Magician and Dark Worm. They're hitting Pendulum Magicians pretty hard, but I don't think if they hit him as hard as we did. The deck is still very strong, even with just these 2. You can't. I mean, the engine for the Supreme King engine is still very much alive with just 1 Dark Worm. So I think this is fine. Grinder Golem, we have Grinder Golem at 1. It's not doing anything. It hasn't done anything. So it's just overall, I guess it's here. Lone Fire Blossom, I actually expect this to happen in the TCG at some point. I actually think that 3 Lone Fire Blossom is kind of crazy for what it does. And eventually we will definitely see Lone Fire Blossom probably at 1, if not probably banned. I'm actually really shocked that I might actually say that this card might actually be banned at some point. Predaplant, Ophius Scorpio, that pretty much just kills the Predaplant engine. I guess they were just going after engines overall and then giving us some cards back. For example, they put El Shaddai Wind at 1, but they put Construct back at 1. I guess they really just didn't want Shaddolls to be kind of just the overbearing thing in the meta, because, I mean, you could probably play Shaddolls with just 1 Winda. It's a really Construct that's the powerhouse of the deck, and Construct is the only card that actually matters for the deck in general. We see in the TCG that even though people are still playing Winda, the deck, Shaddolls itself as a pure deck is not as strong as it is right now, because we don't have Construct. Also, Spellbook Knowledge. I think if Shaddolls were to be very good in the game, like for a significant amount of time, like if they put Construct 1, you probably will see Spellbook of Knowledge be played in that deck because it just requires spellcasters. You might play Blue Boy or Secrets just to search it out, but overall I think it's just kind of interesting to see Spellbook of Knowledge here. It's not a generic draw 2 card, and if we take a look at the list in the OCG, the Spellbook engine isn't really that popular. So I'm really kind of concerned how that they're just hitting this list. Perhaps there's some higher level tournaments that I'm not kind of wary of. But this is actually in time for nationals, so most definitely all of these changes will affect our nationals. We probably won't see Phoenixine Cluster Amaryllis being played at all in the next set, or during not nationals, worlds. I mean, Invoked Mechaba. This is crazy. Invoked Mechaba is a dangerous card, but I don't think in the TCG this should happen. The reason for this is because Invoked engine kind of relies a lot on Mechaba, and Invoked in and of itself is not a deck that is concerned. Is not worthy of concern. It's kind of one of those cards, like I said, it's a very powerful card. It negates cards and then banishes it when they get negated. The card is absolutely insane, but for a fusion monster, it's just not as good as people are probably making it out to be. in most situations. Like I said, it's very good. It's a very strong card, and you definitely do see it played in the meta when you play Invoked engines. You see it played awfully a lot in Magnite Invokes and Trickstar Invoked. But for the most part, I don't think this is a very smart hit. I don't think the Invoked engine in and of itself is bad for the game. It's not broken enough in my opinion. So we're just gonna move on. Megabuzz is just honestly a weird choice because they put Alistair at 2 here. They put Ash Blossoms to 2. Now, Ash Blossoms is played at 3 in everything. Even Designator from the Grave couldn't even stop the fact that people were playing this card. Though I'm really surprised that they didn't put Maxi, and Maxi is also, I think Maxi is the second most played. If it's not the second most, it's definitely the first most played hand trap in the OCG. So I'm really shocked to see that Maxi didn't find its way back here on the list. I guess the OCG doesn't really consider drawing cards from your opponent's mistakes a bad thing. I guess it does create some creative interactions, but I'm really shocked that even though Konami has this hardline stance against generic cards in general, that they didn't take this hardline stance against Ash Blossom or Maxi. Moreover, you still have Ghost Ogre, Droll, and Winter Cherries, so the hand traps are still pretty good. DD is also still very high up there as well when it comes to hand traps as well. So, Solemn Judgment to 2. This is actually kind of insane. I'm always going to stand to the test of time that Solemn Judgment is a skillful card. The reason why I say Solemn Judgment is a skillful card is because it takes a really good player to know when to play the card. If you just Solemn Judgment the first thing that you see, you're probably going to lose. However, if you Solemn Judgment the right card at the right time, you're probably going to be in a very good shape. If not, you're probably going to win that game. So I really think this is a very interesting thing. By the way, the OCG has 2 Solemn Warning, 2 Solemn Judgment, and now 2 Solemn Strikes. Because they actually have a kind of a coherent Solemn Brigade, I think. True Draker Heritage, that's because True Drakers aren't doing anything because Masterpiece and Diagram are still at 0 in the OCG. Whatever. Moving on. Tribe Infecting Virus. I guess, because that card does nothing. Spellbook, or Summoner Monk, because that card does nothing. Though, I could see this card going back on the list at some point. I can see this card going to 1 at some point, or 2 at some point again. Spellbook of Secrets. The reason why this was at 1 was because of because Spellbook of Knowledge was at 3. I don't think the reverse is even really there. It doesn't even really matter. Reborn Tengu. We have Reborn Tengu. We've had it at 3 for a while now. It's not done anything. Pantheism. I'm not actually sure about this. I guess in some ways it's okay. But I think for the most part, this is just a very dangerous card. I don't think Pantheism should ever be at 3 ever again. I think 1 is fine. But, I mean, the card is just downright powerful. I'm pretty shocked that this is even here. That being said, I guess since Monarchs aren't doing anything, Domain I think is still at 1. If not, it's at 0. But still, the card is overall insane. So, Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice is at 3 in the OCG. We don't even get to have this card. This card is not as good as it used to be, but the TCG would disagree heavily on this card. Same thing with Tribe Infecting Virus. This card could go to 3 tomorrow, and it probably wouldn't matter. He would side deck it. Water would definitely play it, but other than that, nothing. Monster Gate. Again, this is very dangerous. Especially, I don't think they have that grass at 1. I think they have that grass at 3. Also, I think they have Reasoning at 3. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. I can find out, though, real quick. We're going to say what is at 1 in the OCG. Because this is actually kind of being a really just semi-incoherent list, I think. Maybe if Wide Report would ever load. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Actually, no, they don't. They definitely do not have it at 0. The card is definitely at 1, at 3 in there. They don't have it at 1. So, if you're in the OCG and you want to play Infernoids, there you go. Your deck is as full of power as it can possibly be, and you could possibly still play the Invoked engine you play the 2 Alistair, you play the 3 Invocation, and you play the 1 Mechaba, and you probably max out on the Fire Dune now, and on this case. But you know, I think the only thing that's really shocking here is probably Protoplant Orphis, because that engine is it's strong, but it's not as strong as it can be. It's not being obscene. It's not overly powerful. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. I know this has been quite the list of videos that have been gone up for over throughout the day. There's just been a lot of stuff that has been happening over the 24 hours the past 72 hours, and I kind of wanted to get everything that we could just talk about it, get it over with, and all that stuff. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy, again, like I said, leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. This has been Lance signing out.